Welcome back. State Senator Lauren Book has made protecting children a hallmark of her time in office, and she is currently making her annual walk across the state of Florida to bring attention to child sexual exploitation. She has also been one of the leading voices opposing the state's new abortion ban. I had a chance to catch up with her during her march through the Panhandle.
Well, we are walking in April because April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and I am so thankful to be able to talk to you on this journey. It is really to make sure and bring about awareness for childhood sexual abuse so people know and understand the resources that are available in their communities. We've partnered with the child advocacy centers across the state of Florida, the rape crisis centers, every stop along the way so that people know and they see us, right? What is available in their communities. It's important to know that 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys may become the victim of child sexual abuse before their 18th birthday. However, 95% of sexual abuse is preventable with education and awareness. And that's what this walk is all about. It's empowering survivors. It's letting people know that it's okay to tell, where to find resources, and how to really teach children how to advocate for themselves and stay safe.
Lauren, it just seems to me that there has been attention about this, but why is this still so important to stress the availability of those resources? The idea of taking and allowing people to come out of the shadows if they want to be able to talk about that. It seems to me that I think a lot of people will think, well, it's 2024. That haven't we resolved that? That people understand that by now, but they don't, do they?
No, it's still a highly stigmatized issue. People don't want to talk about it. We had a survivor stop with us and just join alongside on the road. She was in her 70s and had never told anyone about her abuse before that day, before she started walking with us. Those things happen every single day. It's a highly stigmatized issue. And people need to know that at any point in time in their journey, as an adult, you can receive free resources, free counseling at rape crisis centers and child advocacy centers throughout the state of Florida. People don't realize it. People need to know and understand that it's okay to tell, it's okay to heal, and you too can become a thriving survivor.
How have things changed from when you first did this 10 years ago to today?
I think that people have embraced it. I think that we have families that have come with us and have continued to grow with us. The advocacy centers and the rape crisis centers utilize this as an opportunity to help their survivors process different things, and they come out. I mean, this was always supposed to be a physical manifestation of your path to thrivership and surviving abuse and difficulty, right, in your journey. And so it has been wonderful to see these centers truly embrace this. Survivors throughout the state of Florida. We had somebody fly here from California and do 4 or 5 days with us on the road. So it has just been really, truly remarkable and something that we'll continue to do in the future.
All right, before I move on, I want to ask you, so if somebody who's watching this right now, what's the best way for them to get help? If they are in need of help, if they need to be able to speak to someone, what's the best way for them to get a hold of someone?
Well, no matter where they are in the state of Florida, they can reach out to the Florida Council Against Sexual Violence and find a rape crisis center or child advocacy center nearest them. They can check out our website, lawrencekids.org, for more information, and we are happy to connect them with services nearest to where they are. Again, people can receive free services at any point in time in their journey if they identify that they were sexually assaulted at some point in time in their life. And so it is a very important thing to be able to connect, and we're happy to do so.
I want to talk about what also is occurring as we now are finishing up the end of April. May 1st, we are now going to have a 6-week abortion ban essentially take effect here in Florida. You and I have talked about this as a possibility, as the potential of it occurring, as it may soon occur, but now we're here. What does this moment mean?
This is a horrifically scary time for women and girls here in the state of Florida. The reality is we know that women have suffered at the hands of the 15-week abortion ban because of the way that the law was written. And we know now it will happen even more. We know that women now, come May 1st, will have only 3 options in the state of Florida. 1, have the money and the resources to become medical refugees to get the help that they need. 2, take matters into their own hands, which we desperately don't want anyone doing. Or 3, avail themselves to the exemption for rape, incest, and survivors of human trafficking. Those are really the only 3 options at this point. We want we want people to know, we want women to know that they can reach out to the abortion fund, Planned Parenthood, to connect with services, to get people the care that they need. We see this discussion, this debate happening every day. If you turn on the Supreme Court today, talking about EMTALA and how many organs a woman has to lose before she can receive an abortion in Idaho. This is the reality of women in our state, in our country. And unfortunately, we have a very new reality in Florida that we have to live through. We have to work through. But as we continue to work through and get through this time, we're working towards the November ballot initiative.
I think the fact that it was always an abstract concept, that now we're going to actually see it in reality. Women are suddenly going to be confronted with the idea that by the time they realize they're pregnant, by the time they get an appointment with a gynecologist to confirm they're pregnant, they're going to be outside that 6-week window. And suddenly there are a lot of women in this state who may or may not be paying attention to the news, who are going to come next week, next month, suddenly realize they are no longer entitled to the rights they once had. How do you think that's going to play out?
I think that the right is going to have a day of reckoning in November. I think that the reality is people are angry, they're fed up, and they don't know what they don't know. You don't know. Sometimes you've lost a right until it's gone, and that's where we are. Again, we talk about, it's not hyperbole, and you and I have talked about this many times together on air and off. Women and girls will die. They will suffer for this. This is a very, very scary and dangerous time for women and girls in our state of Florida. It is the new reality. It is real. It is here. We are working to make sure that there are going to be ways that we can get women and girls taken care of in this time. I have somebody who's reached out to me to be the person that is on restraining orders, because one of the options is a restraining order, that you use his name so that women can receive an abortion at that 15 weeks. That's the reality. This is a horrific, horrific thing when you think about where we are. And I do think, as you and I have, just said, come November, there will be a great day of reckoning.
I know that when this was being debated and has been debated, you offered numerous amendments at various times to try to at least make a bad bill somewhat better. And I don't think you were successful in almost any of them, and when you look at how it's not just the 6-week ban, and it's not just the fact that rape and incest is still now a category, but they've made it harder to qualify for those. And even the life of the mother, even when the life of the mother is in danger, talk about the hurdles that the state of Florida, that the legislature and the governor have put in place that make it difficult, even if a woman's life is in danger, to be able to receive the medical care she needs.
Well, it's the language that's used within the bill. And you heard the sponsor of the bill at the time when we were calling it into question. What is imminent risk? And how do we define imminent risk? What does that mean? And you've seen, and we've talked about, and it has been reported time and time again, women who are coming in with pre-prom. So there's a tear in their amniotic sac and a pregnancy is no longer viable. But there is nothing that they can do for that woman, even though the pregnancy is not viable, but send them home to develop sepsis-like symptoms, because you're closer to death when you have sepsis. There are women today in our state who are living under this 15-week ban, who are having to go sit in their car with no air conditioning to develop, to raise their temperature and mimic septic-like symptoms so they can receive appropriate health care. That is a reality. This is not hyperbole. This is what is happening today. And that is that imminent risk. You see this time and time again in states all throughout the country that are doing these type of abortion bans. And you had the sponsor of the bill say that doctors are playing God and not doing the right thing. No, it's because of the way the bill was written, because they didn't want to define imminent risk. What if a woman was suffering psychologically? You can't take that into account. There are so many things here that are horrifically dangerous for women and girls. That is a new reality that we have to face. Let's say you have a pregnant woman who's on medication for their psychological state that isn't compatible with pregnancy. What are they going to do? I mean, there are so many examples out there that are very real realities for people that now are really going to be in dire situations.
We'll be right back after the break.